Hello everyone, we're at the Industrial Design Space in SDE 4. This is the creative hub for the Industrial Design program in NUS. It is furnished with key facilities such as the Design Incubation Center, the 3D printing room, as well as the prototyping room for students to work in. This is to aid the students in their progress of presentation, prototyping, and product development. So with me here, I have Associate Professor Brian Stone, who will be bringing us through this space and talking about what it has to offer. Hi Prof, could you tell us more about yourself?
Well, I have been with NUS for 5 years now. My formal background is in visual communication, and I teach interaction design, motion design, and information design. I also work closely with our team in our undergraduate thesis program as well as our master's program. Happy to be speaking with you today.
Thank you so much, Prof. So could we start with maybe an overview of this space and what it has to offer for students?
Okay, so the studio space is a very unique environment to the pedagogical models of industrial design. We do a lot of collaborative work. We work on small-scale projects as well as large-scale projects. So we want to have a space that we can reconfigure depending on the type of activity we're engaged in. You can probably see some seating behind me where we need large spaces to enable the students to build their prototypes and test their prototypes. But again, conversely, we might be working on a small mobile app where we work in a much more intimate space. Say maybe the most important thing, though, I do want to point out is that the students are working in small teams to really enhance this whole collaborative spirit that they're going to see in professional practice.
Thank you so much, Prof. Could I also ask further, how does this studio emphasize on the hands-on experience that students can gain, that they could use on their projects?
Okay, so the core of what happens here in industrial design is bringing ideas to life through making. So the students do a lot of iteration in making small prototypes and then larger prototypes and then eventually full-scale prototypes. And our students are very good with their hands, and whether that's working in wood or concrete or other materials, even paper, this is all the things that sort of bring ideas to bear here in industrial design. Well, one of the things that we do here in the Design Incubation Center is take projects beyond what happens in the 4 years of their program, because some projects need a little more time to mature. So we provide a support staff for them that includes business development, technology, branding and communication, and even manufacturing to a certain degree. So for instance, I have this one project that we call Rolo that started off as an undergraduate project, but it showed a lot of potential. And the idea behind this is that it relieves the irritation that people have with eczema without breaking the skin. And that is one of the problematic issues of eczema. People scratch and their nails break the skin. But this provides that kind of relief. And this is something that was, as we say, incubated here in the center. You see, it's a very nice space and it's a private space, so they're able to get a lot of work done.
So Prof, would you agree that prototyping is actually a very integral part of this entire program?
Well, the thing is, if you go through the design process, prototyping is one of the critical components of what we do, because it takes our ideas, it makes it concrete, and it allows us to put our prototypes in the hands of our targeted audience to see how they can respond to the interface, the look and feel, the weight of a product. And so that's how we go and test things before we actually take them to market. So it's very important.
Very important, exactly. So we are currently at the 3D printing lab. And how would you say that this lab helps students to refine and test their products?
Well, 3D printing has revolutionized and accelerated our design process. With 3D printers, we can take concepts, we put them in electronic media, and then we can output them fairly quickly to test those ideas very rapidly and in a very cost-effective manner.
So Prof, how would you say that this program encourages students to explore beyond traditional product design such as UX, UI, and service design?
Okay, that's a great question. Design education in its history has always run parallel to changes in society and changes in technology. So it's always been a very dynamic field, and it's grown nearly exponentially, if you will, in its application space. The second part to that is we have a very diverse and international faculty who have a range of formal backgrounds such as product design, architecture, service design, visual communication, and branding. So with those two forces, we're able to look at things that are changing in our field, connect to corporations through our alumni, and then proactively bring in new ideas into the curriculum, such as user experience design, interaction design, service design, and even design futures and entrepreneurship.
So Prof, I think a lot of the prospective students will be very interested to find out about the career opportunities that one could have after going through this program in NUS. So how would you say that this program really shapes students to take on the roles that they will have in the future industry?
Okay, so we'll break it down a couple of ways. Many of our tutors and full-time faculty members have professional experience prior to coming into the space of education. So they've worked as practicing designers. They understand the requirements and the pace that the students are going to be faced with when they go into professional practice, and we try to simulate those things in our classrooms. The other part that's really exciting is the diversity of applications that we're seeing, such as we just discussed about product design, service design, interaction design. But moreover, we're seeing more and more non-traditional organizations take on design as a formal role. So for instance, all the banking companies have user experience teams. The hospital now has a user experience team and design research team. So those are just a few examples so our students can go into your sort of traditional design consultancies, or they can work for in-house design companies.
Right, thank you so much, Prof. We are currently at the workshop right now. So, Prof, could you tell us more about the equipment here and how exactly do students come to use them and help their prototyping stage?
Well, again, we've talked about the importance of prototyping and being hands-on with your work. So we have this workshop that we're very proud of. We have several workstations in which the students can do form studies, they can build and assemble models, and we have a whole series of equipment that will support that depending on the materials that they're working on. Like sandblaster, we have table saws, sanders, a lathe. You see people maybe even sanding products by hand. The one thing that I do want to point out that's very important is this workshop is supervised by our trained staff. And the thing that we hold in high regard is to make sure that the students are using all the equipment safely.
Thank you so much, Prof, for your sharing the entire video. It was great to see how this industrial design studio, the space and the program really empower students to think boldly, to experiment and to really bring their ideas to life. So before I wrap it up, may I ask, what type of students are you looking for and what would you like to share to our prospective students? Okay,
so I can't think of a more exciting area for students to study than design. Now I admit I'm a little biased. Right, but we are very excited to bring in students who are curious, energetic, have a great sense of empathy, and want to use their creative gifts in service of others.
With that, we've come to the end of our virtual tour. We hope to see you here. Bye-bye.